Hello, my name is Will of the Hoopty Hoop channel, and I'm here to share my top 10 favorite Switch games. Coming in 10th is Metroid Prime Remastered. I had this game back on the GameCube back in the day, and it was really good for the time, like where it had all the where all had all the good like visuals, and it was just like outstanding what kind of like graphical stuff was put onto the GameCube at that time. And then I went and bought Metroid Prime Remastered, and my goodness, this was the graphical overhaul that I was not expecting, and the modernized controls on it were really good. And this was my first time ever beating it. I got stuck in the ice world after beating that giant ice monster. Let me know in the comments what that ice monster was in the ice world there. That one was I did beat that thing, but I got lost. That I do remember that much. Anyway, um this probably is my favorite Metroid game that has come out on the system, and it's the only one I've beat so far. Dread, for the most part, I'm gonna try and touch that and finish that at some point. That's a really good 2D Metroid, but I'm only counting games that I beat on this list. So that was one of my favorites of last year. In ninth is Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. I thought this was like as if it was 2D Mario that was done in 3D. And I loved all the power ups in it, like the cat suit, the cherry that multiplies, the characters, and then boomerang, such and and cool things like that. And then I just had a blast with this one. I never owned this one. I never owned a Wii U, and I guess this was one of the best last ports of the Switch. And then Bowser's Fury, holy cow! It just that was just its own adventure, and I just loved every minute of that. And I got all the way to the very final Bowser boss battle in that, and that was epic. I felt like with Mario and the giant cat suit, it was like a kaiju battle, and it was just well, all the fights are kind of like kaiju battles, and I just love that about this. And then of course 3D World had an amazing ending too, so and cool post game as well. So that is definitely my number 9 pick right there. Number 8 is Pokemon Legends Arceus. So this I thought should have been the Pokemon formula going forward, and this was probably the best experience in a very long time, and as well as like me as a huge Pokemon fan, like I like how the emphasis wasn't exactly put on VGC. It was just more on the catching aspect of it, but I guess you could just put your Pokemon over to Scarlet and Violet. And speaking of Scarlet and Violet, I thought those games should have been what Pokemon Legends Arceus is, and that was like one step forward and three steps back. You know what I mean? But like Legends Arceus, like what I loved was pretty much just the trainers just battling Pokemon themselves in those boss battles. And then on top of that, I liked that the trainers themselves got hurt and were getting like mauled by like Wild Ursaring or getting shocked by like giant like Electivire and such. Cool things like that. And I thought this was a really fleshed out story as far as Pokemon goes. I mean, Pokemon's not necessarily known for having a like great story, but like overall, this was probably my favorite experience as far as Pokemon goes for the Switch right now. So, we'll see what happens when Pokemon Day rolls around. And then I've got Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. This one is still a blast to play to this very day. I got this day one when it came out in April of 2017. And this was my second ever game for the Switch, so I thought that was pretty cool. And then I just absolutely love like how there's just a bunch of Mario characters and then even non-Mario characters. As you can see right there, you can see that there's Inkling and then Isabelle and then there's Link, and then I know that people are kind of just sick and tired of this game, and for this to be the best-selling game, which was a Wii U game, again, I'm going to emphasize, I did not own a Wii U, and I have played a Wii U before, but wasn't necessarily for me. Like, the only opportunity I ever had to play a Wii U was my nephew has one, and I think he still has it, but he was just a youngin at that time. Now he's a teenager. So, yes. Anyway, I digress. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I still love playing this to this day, and I play this with friends like all the time. Even like I even play with friends who don't even play video games that much, and it's always a great time for this. And it's not. I don't think it's not just necessarily the aspect of just this is a game you play with friends. Like, this is a very well made racing game in general, and so I hope to see the future of Mario Kart be as like as much of a juggernaut as this one. Like that would be the one that I would love to see. So anyway, that is my number 7 pick right there. And then at number 6 is Dragon Ball FighterZ. This is my favorite anime series of all time, is the Dragon Ball series. And I love how this translated into a 2D fighting game. It's just freaking amazing. Yeah, and I'm gonna throw third party games into the mix here, and as you can tell, I threw in ports as well. So this was my first experience playing it on a console was on the Switch. So I'm not. So please do not fault me for that. So anyway, I just love how it just kind of translated into like the fights of the anime, and I just thought like this was just a well made fighting game. This is more what I'm into for fighting games anyway, like 2D ones. I've played a fair share of 3D ones like Tekken and Soul Calibur, but this is more of my speed. This is more of my speed for fighting games, and well, you can't quite beat when there's a when this is Dragon Ball, for crying out loud. It's one of the greatest anime series of all time, and I know there's that Sparking Burst game that's coming out sometime this year, and that looks really good too. I mean, okay, I'm kind of contradicting what I kind of said about 3D fighting games. That one just looks really good. Like 2D ones are still what I prefer, but 3D ones are awesome. So yeah. My biggest complaint with this though is that I feel like they have too many variants of a lot of the same characters, and very samey when it comes to like a lot of the characters, and it just kind of, it's a little bit repetitive in the roster, but I still love how much this feels like just one epic episode of the anime, you know? And I'm such a big fan of Dragon Ball in general, and it just this is the type of game that I think is for people who enjoy fighting games, really. So that's my number 6 pick. Did I? Yeah, this is okay. I had to check that I'm not very good at counting backwards. I'm not gonna lie. So anyway, Persona 5 Royal. What do I gotta say about this one? So Persona 5 Royal, this is one of my favorite games ever. Uh, and I was fortunate to ever get a, Switch version of this, but my first experience with it was the vanilla version that was on the PS4 there, and it was so freaking good. Like the vanilla version of it, even if there's like differences made in Royal that enhance the gameplay, I still think a lot of the I thought a lot of the gameplay was a lot better, and a lot of the story was better. I just love how visually stunning this game is, right down to the cutscenes, right down to the like menu. It's just a very stylish game, and very glad that this isn't like this poor running ports that's on the Switch, and we've seen that time and time again. Like especially like with what's that? Like, oh yeah. This aggravated me as a fan of this series, which was Mortal Kombat, and how bad the visuals were on that one. Yeah, shouldn't be running a PS5 game on a chip that's from 2015. That's kind of that's kind of just not very good. But as far as this goes, is that, yeah, as I said, this is one of my all-time favorite video games, is Persona 5 Royal, and this is a must-play for JRPG fans. Number 4 is Crash Bandicoot N. Sane Trilogy. You know, I was one of those people who got rid of their consoles to get pretty much the next one. Like, I got rid of my PS1 to get a PS2. And I think I recall keeping my copy of Warped and the first game. And I never owned I never owned a 2, so but yeah, as a kid growing up in the late 90s, when I picked up a PlayStation, well, I didn't pick it up. My parents did. They were Santa Claus, and I mean, it wasn't like the very first video game I ever got for my PlayStation. It was I almost said Switch. I'm like, what am I acting like the Switch is the only console that ever exists on this planet? Okay, so anyway, Crash Bandicoot is a very strong childhood memory. I remember a friend got Warped for Christmas. We got a PlayStation at the same time, and when I saw Crash Bandicoot Warped, I was that was amazing, and then pretty much from there, both him and I, like, one of the ways that we communicated was that through video games, and also like pretty much I would like to say, yeah, we played all 3 games, and they were all very good experiences. Uh, Let me take that back. I only played 1 and 3. Well, one time he rented. Actually, not he rented. I rented the game from the video store. He came over to sleep over at my house one weekend and he played all the game. I was like upset that I didn't get to play once. That was kind of BS. But other than that, like I got to rectify that by finally playing it on this. But for the most part, yeah, Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. This was another really great port, and I'm glad that Crash Bandicoot didn't fade into obscurity. And I was even glad to even see that Spyro didn't even have the same fate happen either. So, being a PS1 fan and being a fan of the original Crash Bandicoot trilogy and the Spyro trilogy, and those getting a revival for a new audience, I thought that was pretty amazing. So, yep, that is my number 4 pick. Number 3 is Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. And this was my first Switch game. I actually got the Switch like a month after it came out, and this was at the time like my only option. So if you're thinking how come Tears of the Kingdom isn't on this instead of this, well, all right, I'll go into it real quick. I haven't beat Tears of the Kingdom. I haven't beat that game yet. I want to. It's in my backlog. I think I'm only like 15 hours in, and I still need to play more. Yeah, so this was a very good experience, like just open world Zelda game, and it was I just loved all the exploration and just building all your health and stamina and just cooking and killing a bunch of monsters and even just killing all the frigging all the variants of Ganon. Yeah, all the Calamity Ganon variants. So that was fun. And then this game took me a year to beat, and I got stuck on it, but I pulled through, and this was the very first Zelda game I ever beat, believe it or not. I just always got stuck on all the other games, and I finally just prevailed with this one. And maybe one day I'll do an updated list on this when I beat Tears of the Kingdom, but I'm just going by games that I have beat so far. And this is a masterpiece, and this was worthy of being a launch title. So, yep, that's how I feel about Breath of the Wild. It's pretty much one of the best Zelda games ever made, and I think a little bold to say that I think that this is better than a lot of the older Zelda games, but then again, I'm only basing off one game that I beat. Okay, 2 games I beat. I beat Link's Awakening a while ago, so yeah. So this is one of my favorite Switch games, and it's definitely worthy of being at least in the top 3. Number 2 is Super Mario Odyssey. Yeah, another Mario game, surprise, surprise. But anyway, about Super Mario Odyssey is that this is one of my favorite Mario games in general. When I saw this in the Switch reveal trailer, this blew game up. This blew. I'm sorry. I'm having a little bit of a mind fart there. This game blew my mind, and this is what wanted me to pick up a Switch in the first place, Because I was thinking, oh, Super Mario Odyssey's gonna come like very soon. Lo and behold, I had to wait. Okay, so I bought it in April, November. Okay, so that's, what was that, like 7, 8 months from. Again, I'm not the greatest at counting. Yeah, that's kind of one of my weak strengths. Or weak strengths. What? I mean, that's one of my weaknesses. That's not one of my strengths. I'm better at words than I am. I'm better at words than I am at numbers. So, yeah. It came to when I pretty much when I played this for the first time, I could not put this down. I beat the main story in 3 days. And I just love the little nods to Mario's past with all the costumes, and actually some of those costumes playing to the moons that you get. And I even think that, to me, this. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say it. I think this is better than Breath of the Wild. I think this is better than Tears of the Kingdom. And every Mario game that has like come out on the Switch has been like either good to like amazing. And a lot of the ports are amazing. A lot of the remakes have been amazing too. And I just cannot wait. I just cannot wait for the Thousand Year Door remake. That one looks really good for a remake, or is it a remaster? I don't know. I do know that is one Mario game I'm looking forward to, and as well as I'm looking forward to I'm in the middle of a playthrough on the Super Mario 3D All-Stars, and I have beat all the games but Sunshine. And I'm going to just say something that is a little bit blasphemous right now to some people, but I really, really, really do not like Sunshine. That game sucks. Okay? I just hate how like unnecessarily difficult that game is, and I hate how much it just curves in difficulty. Like, it'll just be easy on some shines, while some are just hard, and it's just like hard, easy, hard, easy, hard, easy. I'm like, I don't like that. But Super Mario Odyssey, I don't have to deal with that BS. And 64 and Galaxy are just right up there for 3D Mario, you know? I guess in a sense I could probably put 3D World right up there too. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and say this. 3D World is better than Galaxy and 64 in my mind. Even Bowser's Fury, you know? Yeah, that's something I gotta say about that. And then here's my number 1 pick. And this one is, well, this is very well deserved. And Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. This game right here. So, my very reason to pick up a Nintendo 64 when I was a kid. Okay, again, not pick up. I had parents who, pretty much the year after I got the PlayStation, got me a Nintendo 64 for Christmas, and I got Super Smash Brothers on the Nintendo 64 as my first ever Nintendo 64 game. And I've played pretty much I played every single game up until then. And then Ultimate, this is the ultimate package. It's freaking like this is everything you would want in a Super Smash Bros. Game, like for crossovers and other cool, amazing like characters that got put in the game, and for like the DLC for what it was worth. And like this roster alone had a lot of the characters that I thought should have been in Smash right from the get go. Like where was Simon Belmont? Where was King K. Rool, Ridley, Banjo, and Kazooie? A lot of those characters never made it in up until this game, and to this very day, I still play this with friends too, and just like what I was saying about Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, this is another game I play with friends that even if they are not gamers themselves, will come play, which is awesome. It like Super Smash Bros. Ultimate has that universal appeal, so does Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So anyway, I absolutely enjoy these Switch games, and I have a lot more in my collection I would like to share at some point, and I just I think to me, this is one of the best games ever made in general. And Persona 5 Royal is also in that same boat, but I kind of had to rank these pretty fairly, you know? Yeah, but I did put Insane Trilogy kind of high up there because Crash Bandicoot Warped is one of my favorite video games as well. I'll have to go over a list one of these days. What is my actual favorite video games of all time? But pretty much like every every reference and every bit of music that's from all the games all like translates onto Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and every single bit of it to me I feel is is aligned with their series. Yeah, so this to me is probably my most played Switch game, but also on that same token, it says on the Switch how many hours I put into YouTube, which is more, but I don't count watching YouTube as playing games, so whatever. But yeah, this is my most played Switch game, and yeah, this is my top 10 favorite Switch games of all time, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and it was well over 20 minutes, well over 25. I see how much time I've put in this. Actually, it's even closer to 30, because I just was talking about the games, and that's all I gotta say. And thank you very much for watching.